What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of the Big Classic Podcast. I got here with my co-host Walter Sellers, me, Fred Biggie Smalls, and we are here at the Butterfly Effect Studio down in Middletown, Delaware. As you can see, we have this beautiful image logo here. So make sure you come check them out. bestindelaware.com. Check it out. My man is doing great things for women in the community, novice trainees in the community, and just bringing a different feel with a lot of direction and a lot of direction, and just you don't have to come in and feel like you don't know, uncertain. A lot of certainty when you come into his gym, what you need to do to get in your best shape of your life. So check him out.
That's it. Appreciate it.
So what's up, man? You were out in Vegas.
Bruh, I trained with C.T. Fletcher.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Grow, motherfucker, grow.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you something. So we get there a little bit early, and me and my course, Angelo, AGAT 302, and everything is, we're excited, so we get there like 15 minutes early. So we leave from Las Vegas, so we flew into Las Vegas, and then we got in the car, drove to Cali the next morning.
Right.
So first off, it's an experience, because the 15 is the only road from Vegas to Cali.
Right.
It's a 4-lane highway, 2 going west, 2 going east.
Right.
No exits. It's maybe every 25 miles is a town.
Right.
And it literally, you're in the desert, town, desert.
Wow. So if you need gas, you better stop.
You better be full.
Right. Right.
So luckily it's only like 278 miles, so it's 1 tank of gas. And my aunt gave me the best advice ever though. Make sure you have a cooler with water, because there's nowhere to stop.
Right.
And if there's an accident or something, you stuck.
Right.
There's no getting off to go around it. You're just in the desert. And it's the Mojave Desert. It's hot.
Damn.
So we drove off. We left in the morning. Didn't get too hot in the morning. It was like 95 degrees. Wasn't bad. Got to LA. Our appointment was at 1 o'clock. So we get there like 5 of, 10 of. Go in. They shut the whole gym down. Kick all the people out for just this one-on-one follow-up session. So CT comes in. What's up, motherfuckers? Y'all ready? So we talk, take some photos, whatever. And immediately we get into the tricep gauntlet. So this tricep gauntlet, for the uninitiated, is this. So it's 40-pound dumbbell, 35, 30, 25, 20. And you do 20 reps down, start with the heaviest, and then 20 reps back up. So you got 200 reps of triceps just to warm up.
Damn.
Next, we do this thing called the marathon bench. Now, I had started prepping for this because the new kind of training style I did. I'd never seen the video of the marathon bench. Okay? So, dropping downs, I'm good at that, right? Stack on 10 downs on each side, do 10 reps, hold it up, take one off. I'm good at that. Cool, no problem. This marathon bench, though, it's 185 pounds. Normally do 225, but I've never done it before, so we did 185. 185 pounds. It's 20 sets. But the number of sets you on, that's the number of reps you do for that set.
Oh, shit.
So, 1, no problem. When you're with one other guy, it really sucks. If there's 4 or 5 guys, okay.
Yeah.
But one guy?
But this is after doing triceps.
After those triceps.
That 185 for like 300.
Bruh. So 1, good. 2, boom, good. I got to number 17. And it wasn't that I couldn't lift it, but my arms wouldn't move.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even do force reps because it's too pumped. I can't.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah. And then after that, we did the last man standing, because my gym partner, Angelo, he only did it 135 because he has a shoulder injury. So they reduced his weight to 135, and he crushed it. He did all the way through, all 20. So he did good on that. But when we went to the trial, I was like, yeah, he's not going to beat me on this. So basically, you stand face to face at the cable machine, rope triceps, and you just go until somebody quit. Straight tricep extensions. Boom,
Really?
boom, rep, until somebody quit.
Now, is your bench press a bench or is it close grip bench?
It's a bench, but it wasn't full reps. We weren't good. It was just banging out reps.
Gotcha.
Any way you slice it, though,
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough. I'm fixing to do that this week.
Bruh, it was rough. So then after that, we go get merch, right? So we gotta go to this warehouse where they got the merch. So if you've seen Boys in the Hood, you saw Boys in the Hood, right?
Yeah.
Okay, remember Ricky got shot?
Yeah.
So Samson drives a Mustang, right? So he pulls out the Mustang. I'm trying to keep up, and he turns to this alley. And when I tell you, I was like, oh my God, we're about to get shot. Because it is just like that scene in Boys in the Hood.
Wow,
And we
wow.
in Compton. So it ain't like we...
Right, it ain't that far-fetched,
It
right?
ain't too far-fetched. So we get to the place to give us some free stuff, get some stuff. If you can do the father and son training experience with CT Fletcher, absolutely, positively, 100% do it. In fact, right below us, there's a link. Click that link, hit Samson up. Go if you. It is a once in a lifetime opportunity to go.
How sore were your arms?
Bro, if you press hard enough now,
Still sore.
still, chest, still. And
Wow.
it's been a week and 2 days.
Wow. Wow.
Because I did it last Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was great. So then the next day we trained at Venice Beach outside the outside gym, which was an awesome experience. I'm in so many people's home videos. It's ridiculous.
That's
So,
awesome.
so it was cool, but it was all back. It was all pull. There was no pushing. So
Yeah, yeah.
Trainer Part Angelo, he's vertically challenged. So the seated row,
So he's short.
yeah,
Trying to say he's short. What's wrong with being short?
he couldn't reach the row machine. that's the whole part. So he can't reach. It's a good 12 inches away when he sits with the chest pad on, right? So he goes to reach. I'm still fried because we just did that shit yesterday.
Yeah.
So I'm still I'm like what? Go, dude. He was like, I can't reach. I'm like, fuck. So we're at the floor 4 plates now. So I go put no.
Not happening.
So I had to put my shoulder into it and push one
That's
side.
crazy.
To go the other side. It was hilarious.
That's
But-
awesome, man. That's
And
awesome.
then we went over to Gold.
Venice.
It's like 4 blocks away.
Yeah.
But O'Hearn wasn't there and Glass wasn't there.
The
and
experience in
Southside
that
was
gym is awesome, man.
there. But we were outside. We just trained outside, so we didn't really train there. It was nice in there though.
Okay.
We didn't really train in there. And then we came back, and that's where the crazy bullshit happened. So we loaded up the ice, got 5 liters of water, 6 liters of water, and we're driving back. So GPS says we'll get back in 4.5 hours. Cool.
Oh, shit.
80 miles an hour, we're flying, we're rolling. All of a sudden,
Boom.
boop, skirt. Now, the crazy part is, my aunt literally said, if it's an accident, you know where to go. Bruh, 1 hour and 15 minutes we sat
Damn.
in 121 degrees under the sign that says Death Valley.
Damn.
Hot.
Hot.
Air conditioners on, everything's working. And I'm just like, car don't overheat. Car do not overheat. Don't overheat. And it didn't. It held up and
Oh,
we
man.
made
Thank
it back.
God.
And we trained at Dragon Lairs the next day.
Oh, yeah. That's a
And
good
then
experience, too.
we did leg day there. And so we got there probably about an hour before Derek Lunsford came and shot video with
Flex.
Flex.
So you were there when he was there?
We were there.
Oh, okay.
We didn't get to see him. We didn't talk to him because he was in the back of the pose room, whatever. So, but you know,
That's cool.
so it was.
It re-energized you, right?
I'm focused. Like
Yeah.
this week, you know, it's been a good training week. Last week was a good training week. Diet's been 100%. Haven't missed a meal, and almost done with my 2nd gallon of water. So.
Okay. Yeah, I had somebody ask me today, you track water? Nope.
I just drink it.
I realize if I'm a little yellow, I need to drink some more water, right? But
That's it.
yeah, well, that's good, man. That's incredible. That's incredible. And see, my mind's like, man, I want to do it, and then I'll go to do it, and I'm like, yeah, come on, energy. So if y'all don't know, I'm 5 weeks out from Masters Olympia. Nah, we compete on Sunday, so I'm 4 weeks, 5 days, right? So, I mean, I don't need the extra time. We're in great shape. We're looking amazing. Like I'm seeing stuff in my legs. I've never seen it this far out. You know, I said to my girl last night, I just want to turn around and my glutes and hams be remnants of what Dexter looks like when he's shredded. And I think we're going to be there. I mean, I don't have any doubt we're going to be shredded. but that shredded, I think we're gonna do that, and that's always been a vision I've always wanted to have. And the way, I mean, Chris killed me for 2 weeks. You know, hour cardio every day with under 70 grams of carbs, with you know, and I trained 6 days a week, and I was dead. I mean, dick in the dirt, just not know a shadow of myself emotionally. And when Chris gave me carbs last week, I posted that video, and it just looked crazy. But then he gave me 500 grams of carbs the next day, and it got better. And it was funny because I woke up, I was 238. So, you know, everybody that gets, you know, all freaked out about losing too much weight and all that kind of stuff, as soon as I ate the carbs, 7 pounds back up, right? Water's in the muscle, full, I looked great. All my lines were there. And, you know, went back to zero carb yesterday, and woke up this morning.
Zero.
Zero. It's 6 eggs in the morning, 10 ounces of chicken and veggies, 8 ounces of steak and veggies, 8 ounces of chicken and veggies, protein shake.
So no complex carbs.
8 ounces of chicken and nothing that's going to give you energy.
Right, yeah.
Right, and the fat's not that high either.
Right.
So you figure it's almost like a nutrient deplete day.
Yeah.
Right, you just got protein, and I have some fat from the eggs and steak. But when you're that last meal hits and you're like, fuck, I just ate, I'm hungry. You know, like I've learned to do some breathing exercises that, you know, like like a long 4-second breath in, hold it for 4 seconds, then 4 seconds out, and it kind of gets you.
Resets you.
Yeah, you think about something else, you think of something positive, and then it gets you off that.
I just drink more water.
That, well, see, the water is good and everything, but then then sleep shitty.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm up all night pissing, all night. Like, I mean, 3-4 times. I got to go to the bathroom at night. And so the breathing, obviously water and during the day, but I'm talking about, you know, that last, at night is when it's the worst. And then I do hot tea. Hot tea helps, you know, coffee. Like we would.
How you would drink caffeine if you...
Well, the caffeine doesn't do anything to me. Like, I mean, you know, you get used to, I'm definitely a caffeine junkie. I've done too much caffeine, and I can drink a cup of coffee. Hell, I can drink a red line and go to sleep. So,
Like
and that's
600.
600 milligrams of caffeine, I can go right to sleep. But you know, so that's not really an issue.
Yeah.
But like a hot tea, you get decaffeinated tea too.
Yeah.
They have all different flavors, you know, and that with a little Splenda or Truvia, and it's like a little treat. Just get you off the hunger for a minute, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then, you know, that and getting the cardio in and all that stuff, and like the cardio I'm doing right now, like I've had years where I've done a lot of cardio, but the specific instructions are high intensity cardio. So high intensity cardio for an hour is a different world. Like it's even though it's only like 6 hard 3-minute sprints in that hour. So 18 minutes of it is sprinting, and the rest of the time is what, you know, just steady state kind of going along. It takes me on low carbs. It takes me that long to recover to where I can do it again. And as soon as I'm done, I'm like, holy shit, you know, and it's like, so that in itself is a whole different style of cardio. And even though overall you might burn more calories just going at a moderate the whole time, the after effect is huge. Like, you know, like the rest of the day, I'm like burning through food. And for me, a lot of times I'll do the cardio at night. And so when I wake up in the morning, I'm so fucking ravenous, it's crazy. But I wake up and I look so different, you know? And it's like, you know, you saw that 4-week transformation I posted. I mean, that's a significant difference. And, you know, so it's been a really awesome experience seeing like what my body can take, you know, I mean, my poor son, we're in the mall, and he's like, Dad, I want to go to GameStop. I'm like, cool. All right, just give me a second. He's like, Dad, we've been sitting here for 5 minutes. I'm like, I know, just, I'm going, babe. I swear I'm going.
The knee is kicking your butt.
Oh my God, boy. I'm telling you, man, I'm sitting here just trying to walk around the mall. And yesterday I was tired, and I was like, I just got to change scenery. And, and that's what I suggest. Like when you're feeling really bad through the diet, that change of scenery can be all you need to really uplift you. Like, so, just going to the beach, walking around, sand, listening to the water, just seeing everybody walk around, all the sunlight and everything, it just made me feel so much better. And yeah, I was hungry, but whatever. You're out and about and you're enjoying the sights and listening to the ocean, and it's just calming, and it's like for those 4 hours, it wasn't about how it looked. I mean, don't get it twisted. Like, we're on the beach, and it is freaking cool to see all that hard work. And that's the thing, when you're in shape, to see all that hard work, it's like people admire it.
Mm-hmm.
Like people are stopping us. Little kids are like getting pictures with me. That's uplifting and a boost too. And but it's been a long time since I've been in that spot. And I said to, I remember when I was talking to Johnny Jackson when he was trying to decide whether he was going to do the Olympia, Masters Olympia. Like, he's like, man, we've been out of it competing for 2-3 years. Like, do you really want to go back into it? And that was one of the things he said. Are you like ready to go back to that dark spot? And those last 2 weeks before he fed me up a little bit was a dark spot. And I think I have one more to go through, and then I'll be right where I need to be. And but getting out and about and just being in the public and letting everybody see how hard you've been working and seeing what you look like, and just being in that nice weather, it was definitely a nice change of pace. And in those moments, it didn't matter that I was hungry. It didn't matter that I can't eat what I want to eat.
Right.
Yeah, it was just like a good, right? Like, what did Tony Robbins say? Like, if you want to change your mood, change your motion.
That's it.
Right? So just move. Just move. It'll change everything. Just move. You're having a shitty day, just move. And that's what we did, and it was definitely a good time yesterday. So definitely a good time. And the Earth, Wind and Fire cover band was playing down there, and that was fun.
That's cool.
Hear some good music. It's always good to hear live music, right? Yeah. So it was a good time. And Janine got her. Man, she had this cotton candy ice cream, and I admired it. I was like, looks good. No desire to touch it. But I was like, is it good? And she's like, it's so good. I was like, let me get another one. Let me get another one. She's like, you're going to eat that? I was like, no, you're going to eat two. I want to see another one.
That's brutal.
So it was a good time, though. It was definitely a good time. So so we had some shows in the bodybuilding industry, right, this past weekend. But
Chicago Pro.
My man John De La Rosa came back and
Came in third.
came in second. Came in second.
Justin Shire, De La Rosa,
Stanimal,
and
yeah.
then Blessing.
Blessing, and then Patrick Moore.
Patrick Moore.
Yeah. So what do you think's going like? I talked to Patrick Moore when he won the California Pro,
Was that 2
and
years ago?
yeah, when I did my last
did it,
show,
right,
right? And I talked to him, and he was like, really talking poorly about Chris Aceto. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I know you just won the show, but the best you ever looked was when you were Chris. And I'm thinking to myself, one of the things that Chris always says is it's not about size, it's about conditioning. Shape and conditioning, balance and conditioning. And Patrick's like, he wanted to be bigger. And I'm thinking to myself, when he showed up on this stage, like, bro, like, you're a guy that was top 10 at the Olympia. Like, what kind of shape, like, once you've been in that kind of condition, you know what it is. There's no way you're up there thinking that was good enough.
Yeah, I think for me, Justin Shire won the show when he walked on stage. There was no doubt, in my opinion, when he walked on stage.
Yeah.
For me, the swing was, I thought Blessing was going to bring something really special because he's not been on social media. And it seemed like...
Well, you're not on social media because he didn't like the way you look.
It was one or the other. It was either, damn, he's going to look good because he's been focused, or, dude, you need to coach.
Yeah.
And it ended up being, dude, you need to coach.
Yeah, I know exactly what he was going through because, like, in 2014 when I was getting ready for the Arnold, 2013 I had a great Arnold. Like, I mean, I was in that second call out, but I had a first call out with the call out with the first call out group, and a lot of people thought I was going to be in that top 6, and I ended up in 7th, and I thought I got beat by some guys I shouldn't have been beat, but my conditioning was awesome, and Steve Weinberger said my legs just need to come up a little bit. And in 2014, I was like softer and small because I did so good at the shows after the Olympia that I was basically enjoying it too much, partying.
Right.
And that's a quick turnaround to go to the Arnold to start training.
Yeah.
So I didn't really get serious about the Arnold until about 10 weeks out. And that includes taking the subs the way I need to and training the way I need to and getting enough food in there. So basically I got ready for that show in 10 weeks. And I remember like 2 weeks out, Steve Weinberger was like, "You're not hard enough." And I told my coach and he's like, "All right, here's what we're gonna do." And I went back a week later and they're like, "I don't know what you did, but fuck, you look great." But because I was on that line and my body didn't have enough time to settle into that conditioning, one wrong turn and it's like
Gone.
the water just takes over. You look like you look like you're not ready. And I wasn't ready. I was smaller and I wasn't, and I came off that stage, but I remember when people were like, "Oh, what are you looking like? What do you look like?" And I'd post little things that were like off to the side or nothing direct. And that's what Blessing was doing the whole prep. Like you'd see a trap shot, you'd see him walking away in a big back, stuff that still made him look pretty good, And I tell, at that level, man, if you don't look like concrete, you can forget about it.
Fact.
Right? Because that lighting at that show was horrible.
Yep.
Horrible. And so whatever you saw on video, they were 10 times harder than that. And my man he looked terrible.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to figure out how he beat Patrick Moore.
He's bigger than Patrick Moore.
Yeah, I mean.
30 pounds. I'm bigger than Patrick Moore. I met Patrick Moore at the Arnold.
Well,
I'm bigger than Patrick Moore.
Well, okay, so you met him at the Arnold. You think he'd be getting it ready, right? Getting it together. Can't come in small and soft. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope he gets it together because the year when he looked great at the Olympia, man,
Great.
it was impressive. Like it was like, wow, this.
But where's the space for him? We were talking about this earlier. Where's the space for him? Where?
I mean,
Top 15?
like, bro, if he's got a physique that's a complete X when he's in shape.
He's also 5'7". That's
Doesn't
gonna hurt him.
Doesn't matter.
When you got
Dexter is 5'6", bro.
Yeah, he also won the off season when there was no Jay and there was no Ronnie.
Who? Dexter. You put Dexter beat Ronnie for the Olympia.
Again, it was in between Jay's off year when Dexter won.
Man, Dexter could have beat Jay a couple other years too. Dexter went up against Ronnie. If you look at the 2004 when Dexter was up against Ronnie, no, 2004 or 2002. One of those two, you look at that video like, damn, Dexter looked really favorable. Like, I mean, the tie-ins and the conditioning and that round muscle belly, like, you don't have to be 250 pounds.
Agreed.
Right? Patrick can be 230, shredded to the bone, and beat anybody.
So a shredded to the bone Patrick is going to be a shredded to the bone Andrew or Samson or Nick or Derek or Hyde
Definitely
or Brandon.
definitely could beat someone that doesn't have shape.
Right, and all those guys got shape except for Nick.
Right.
So if Patrick comes in perfect, perfect,
Yeah.
he's not beating Andrew.
Well,
He ain't been Derek. He ain't beating Samson. He ain't beating Hottie. He ain't beating Brandon. He ain't
that's
beating
if they're
Brandon.
perfect, though.
They gotta be perfect.
They do.
They don't.
If Patrick's perfect, what's going to happen is he's going to make all the rest of them look off. That's what happened the year that Branch took second at the Olympia.
Mm-hmm.
Branch is no shape guy,
Right.
but he made everybody else look fat. And if you make everybody else look fat, the illusion.
Sure.
Look at Stanwell. Stanwell's small as shit.
Yeah, his arms were tiny.
He is small,
But he's shredded all
but
the
he's
way.
shredded to the bone.
3 weeks in a row.
Right? And it gave him a shot against Hassan.
Right.
Right? Phil Clark didn't have near the muscle that Hassan had, but because he was shredded or he was tighter than Hassan, it exposed Hassan's flaws.
Yeah.
Right? And, but no, I'm not saying Patrick Moore, but I mean, he's not one of the best in the world, but he has the potential to be a top 10 guy. That's what I'm saying.
I just can't count 9 guys he's going to beat. If everything is equal, I I can't count 9 guys he's going to beat.
Well,
That's all you
I can tell you straight up. If he's 100% and Ian Valera's 100%, he's beating Ian all day.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, Ian's got flaws.
Other than his cast, what's his flaw? Other than he has, I mean, he's not. You can't beat genetics. It's gonna be if that's the case. Then he should beat Nick.
I think he could beat Nick.
I don't think he can beat Nick.
I mean, not right now.
If both of them are 100%, he can't beat Nick. I don't see that. Nick's biceps are bigger than his thighs. I can't see. No, I'm not being an asshole. I'm telling the truth. Nick's biceps are bigger than Patrick Moore's thighs.
Right. I get you.
That-
But the illusion of that little waist.
Sure.
Okay. Here's the thing. Dexter in his prime, Nick in his prime.
Mm-hmm.
Dexter's beating him all day. Not even close.
Okay.
Right? Not even close.
So then, why didn't Sean Clarita beat Nick at the Arnold?
That's not the same
Why?
at all.
Why?
Sean Clarita,
Was brick solid.
he looks amazing, like a little Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah. So
But he's not a shape sultan.
okay.
He's not a sultan of shape.
So Keon then should beat him then. So
If Keon, well, first of all, let's stop talking 212 to 280 pounds. This is
whoa. Patrick Moore don't weigh 280. He
no,
might weigh 230.
230 is a lot different than 212. A lot different.
Okay.
And you're talking apples to apples because they're both 5'7",
Yeah. Okay.
right? So, that's a big difference. And Patrick has some attributes that make his physique stand out, like his arms, like his glutes, like his taper. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not saying, first of all, Sean almost beat Big Ramy.
I know.
So
That's what I'm saying.
you don't know what would happen if he stood right next to Nick and they gave him a direct comparison.
Yeah.
You don't know, right? Because arguably he could have beat Big Ramy.
I think he should have. I have beaten.
So, and again, they use the same argument. I mean, there's so much muscle to overcome.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not a muscle sport, but what I'm saying is, yes, when Patrick's on 100%, what I'm saying is he is a force.
Sure.
And does it mean he's a top 5 guy? No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he's a top 5 guy. I'm not even saying, I'm not really sitting here thinking he's going to ever beat Nick because Nick doesn't come in out of shape.
Ever.
But if he's perfect, he gives himself a shot.
If everybody's perfect, they give themselves
No,
a theory, right?
no,
Okay.
no.
Who-
Roman Fritz can be perfect because he's
Okay.
perfect every time, and he does not have the physique to carry it, right? What's the dude they were trying to say was, Akeem Williams has to be absolutely perfect to win, right? But if he's off even a tad,
There, he's out. Right.
he's out, right? Okay, because he's got such high lats,
Yeah.
right?
That's
His
all.
body doesn't flow.
It's weird.
Right. So the thing is that no, you can be perfect. There's a lot of people that can be perfect and they still aren't going to win. What I'm saying is Patrick has flow to his physique. When you have flow to your physique, you can beat anybody if you are shredded. Right. And we're not saying he's small either. 230 at 5'7" is not small.
Right.
Right. I don't consider myself small, and I competed beating guys that were 280 when I was competing. Sometimes at 224. I beat Ed Nunn, who was on stage at 276. He was tall, but I beat him multiple times. So the thing is, and he was a perennial top 5 guy at a lot of shows back then too. So I think either way, not to spend all this time with Patrick. Did you think Blessing's flow to his physique was better in the pictures he showed leading up to the show? Like he had balanced out his legs a little bit?
I think it looked like he bounced out of his legs some, but he was so off on stage.
No.
He still has 10 pounds to lose, in my opinion.
No, yeah, but remember he showed you pictures leading up to the show.
I think they were Fugazi.
No.
You think they were legit?
Yeah, absolutely. I think
they were
they're
bigger. He looked bigger.
so. I think what ends up happening with someone like Blessing is he has such a dynamic personality because it covers up the insecurities.
Sure.
Right. So if you have insecurities, you're backstage, your eyes are wondering, How am I gonna look? How am I gonna look? How am I? All the pressure. He's got a Muscle Tech sponsorship. He needs bodybuilding. People are pressuring him. It's like Brandon Curry before he went to Kuwait. His wife and I were talking, and she said, the prodigy is losing that stigma because he hasn't produced. And his sport is so much about what have you done today, right? So not even what you did for me lately. What do you do today, right? And those contracts and the fanfare and all that stuff is what's bringing him money right now.
Right.
So like, is he letting all that get to him? And he's like so frustrated because he had Chad, that didn't work. He had George, and George didn't work. He's blaming George for the second time.
Well, he won 2 shows in a row, George.
Right. So why jump ship for one bad show?
That's what I thought.
I thought the same thing too, and that's probably why George's like, "Fuck you guys."
Yeah.
Like we killed 2 shows in a row, and we get your name back up to here because we missed timing on one show, and you leave.
That's dumb.
Yeah, that's real dumb. So I have blessing. I'd probably reach back out to George, or like I'd reach
Or
out
Phil.
to
Because Phil was like, why don't y'all call me? Did you see that text? When he
Phil
posted?
Heath?
Yeah. He was like, why don't any of these people call me and talk to me? I'll tell them what they need to do.
yeah.
And Phil Heath is offering advice. You got to listen.
The problem with Phil is he was so gifted. Like that's the problem. Like the problem with me is when I was coaching people early on is I can't do what works for me for other people, right? Because honestly, like you see me, everyone always says this. You see me 16 weeks out, you'd be like, there's no fucking way. You see me 12 weeks, you're like, And then all of a sudden you look at me at 6 weeks and you're like, how the fuck did that happen?
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Right? How did that happen? Right? So it's like,
That happened to me at the Olympia when we were getting ready. You kept looking at it, look like, what's going on, dude? Are you eating? Are you doing your shit right?
Right.
Then all of a sudden, it just
clicks in,
just
right?
clicks.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like your body changes.
Yeah.
But yeah, because once it gets going, it goes. But like, and some people are genetically gifted, and some people have to struggle for every pound they're getting.
Yeah.
But for me, like, it's like if I stick to the plan and I'm 100%, my body typically changes pretty fast. And I hit a point where mentally, like during the prep, I got to watch myself. It's like I hit this point mentally where I start to question everything. I start to get almost like I want to self-sabotage. It happens every prep, and I got to fight through that moment. And if I can get past that week, then I'm usually good. It used to get me before, but now it doesn't get me anymore. But when I would try certain things with people that I did, I'm like, that ain't working. And that's the problem. Like Phil's so genetically gifted that, the best coaches sometimes are the ones that aren't genetically gifted.
Because they got to work.
Because it's like there was nothing that came easy, right? So
Watching Ronnie Coleman, they talked about that, what you just said, a cheat meal. He's like, what is that?
Rodney cheated every fucking day, bro.
He said, what was a cheat meal?
He cheated every day. You see his stuff, like he was 5 weeks out using barbecue sauce. He's putting cheese in his fucking grits. He's doing Molly McButter cheese, but he's using the whole freaking half a container. He's doing, he's eating out at Outback every day. He's eating French fries every day.
French fries.
Like he said this in one video in 2006, he said, he stayed leaner in the off season this year and staying lean, and prep's been easier because he cut the French fries out. What? French fries, most people get fat, right?
Yeah,
Not Ronnie.
Not him.
Ronnie's walking around 290 with fucking abs, looking crazy.
Like a boy. My boy ever ride that horse all the way in. Freaking Samson, bro. 330 with abs.
Yeah.
330 with abs is crazy.
He's big, man. He's big. I just question whether Milos is going to bring him in crazy shredded. Like I listened to some of Milos's coaching principles, and his peaking principles are phenomenal. Like he can change your body in 24 hours like no other. But I listened to some of his nutritional principles, and I'm like, unless you are superiorly gifted genetically, I don't think they're going to work to get you like crazy
hard, right.
peeled, right? And his guys come in really good. But have you seen him crazy peeled yet?
We'll see what happens in Regan in about 4 weeks.
Have you seen Samson crazy peeled yet?
you know, it's,
in great shape. But like the thing is, like Andrew Jack was at least 15% harder than Nick was at least 15% harder. Like Samson,
that's what you say. The flow and the symmetry matter too. Right?
absolutely,
That's where that
it all matters, right?
That's what that
Like
matters.
it's not one thing. And the beautiful part about the IFBB is, you know, because at that level the judges really take their time, and really in recent years it's been a lot different. Like before you'd be like, all right, well, Mr. Olympia is going to win and that's it. Recent years they've really been judging these guys, and you know, since Sean won it in 2018, it's really been like a revolving door of people, right? There hasn't been one consistent champion. So these guys are having a battle, but at the pro shows, it's that way too for the majority of them. And you can't just bring one dynamic. Like I've showed up to shows peeled and they say you're not as full as you normally are.
Right.
You know, I've been super full and they say you need to be a little tighter. Like they want the whole combination, the entire combination. And that's like the hard part and the beautiful part of the IFBB and how they're judging these guys is like, you know, Stanimal was by far the most conditioned, but he didn't have quite the muscle that Justin Sire had.
But yeah, he had no arms. I mean,
Right.
Stanimal didn't have any arms at all. You could, it
Right.
was clear.
Right, and then John De La Rosa is probably the most complete bodybuilder up there, but he wasn't quite as hard as Justin Shire.
Right.
I'm sorry, he wasn't quite as hard as
Stanimal.
Stanimal, and I don't think his physique flowed quite as well as Justin Shire did, right? So I think that's why he ended up getting that win. But to see him come back, I mean, that's my era. Me and John,
Three years since he competed last, right?
yeah, like me and John competed, you know, we were both amateurs at the same time. I turned pro a little bit before he did, you know, so seeing him up there was awesome. It was awesome, you know, seeing him up there. So, yeah, it was good stuff, But then we have Carlos.
I like, you know, Carlos is a nice guy.
He is
He
nice,
sat
man.
beside me on a plane when we went to Arnold a couple years ago, and then also, you know, we talked with Arnold, whatever. He's a decent human being, for what I can tell.
Oh man, he comes from good people, man. His dad's awesome. He's a good dude. I think the way, you know, this year with his health and all that kind of stuff is for him to still be going hard and everything. It's really a testament to his relentless effort, man.
We
You
had
know.
his coach on, right? That's his coach that we had on that time, right?
No, he's Kyle is his trainer.
Trainer, okay.
Yeah, his trainer. And Kyle has been exclusively working with him to get his back up and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And it's going really well. And you know, it's funny because, you know, you have the popular guys like Luke Miller and some of these other guys out there. And Luke was working with Carlos, and Carlos was getting smaller. And I remember, like, I'm talking with Kyle. I'm like, man, I understand the angles and shit, but fuck, just train fucking hard. Like, you know, you can't just do this angle shit all the time. It doesn't fucking work. You got to push the muscle to failure. You got to place a demand the body's not used to. And you got to find a way to engage those higher threshold fibers so you can create that thickness. And, you know, when they were training under Luke's system, he was getting softer and the density was losing, you know? So it's like, like, you have to push resistance, right? You have to. There's no way around it. Like, I don't care how many angles you got, how fancy you want to get, you got to push resistance, right?
That's it.
You know, and it's been done that way for years, so why are we reinventing the wheel? And they went back to that, and his body has exploded, man.
Yeah,
Like, he's just,
nuts.
he looks crazy, and I'm looking at him, man, I'm like rooting for him to take that step. I really think he can be a guy that's continually battle for Mr. Olympia,
I think so too.
you know, in the next couple of years. And you just talked about the other dude being short. Carlos is short too.
Carlos is there are specimens. He is the specimen of
He
specimens.
look like an
bro.
alien, huh?
He is a fucking, him and fucking Good Vito, bro.
Yeah,
Those two guys side by side, and that's what we talked about the Arnold, right? You were like, if this guy wins, this guy shouldn't be, you know, and that's going to be the difference. You're going to have 2 or 3 if Regan comes in, right, and he gets to the stage.
Are you talking about the
The 3 different types of style of people on
What,
stage.
you
You
got-
got tall aesthetic.
you got Regan, you got Nathan Diasha, you got
Yep.
Good Vito.
Yep,
And I mean, those are going to be the 3 front runners, right?
absolutely. So even if, let's say, everyone gets to the Olympia, you can put all the tall guys in the category, all the short aesthetic guys in the category, and then all the short blocky guys in the category, and one big blocky guy in Crizzo. How do you determine who's going? Two big blocky guys. You got Crizzo and Rami. So how do you determine which is going to be the best to win? Because if you want aesthetic and muscular, you got one.
Well, I think it's important to point out when I say aesthetic and muscular, complete.
Complete, right?
Right. It can't just be your flow is good from front and back. Like you have to be dense.
Right. Yeah, that's why Andrew didn't win because his density was not the same.
And
the same
that's what always made Dexter be able to beat these bigger guys because the way his body flow was, it was just so compact. Same with William Bonac.
Right.
So densely
I
compact.
think Bonac got robbed of that last round too. When he was against Brandon when Brandon won, he got robbed. Just my opinion.
Well, it doesn't matter because they probably told Brandon, if you do it, you're definitely going to win it because they wanted a name, right? And Brandon was like, I ain't doing that shit. What do I need? I'm like, I just came off the Olympia. Like, what am I doing now?
350 grand and 250
No,
grand.
not back. Was it 250 then?
250 then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be there. Sign me up. 250.
Yeah. So I mean, like it's like, well, I mean, here's the thing. My man looked great. William Bonac always looks great. He looks great.
He's one of my favorite guys to watch and listen to. I like him.
I did a show with Bonac in Spain, and he is a hell of a dude, man. Like this guy, like we talked about going to get water together, and I remember like I was just like drained. I was like, I said, bro, I'm gonna just chill. That man brought water back to my room. He's like, you look like you were feeling it. This man lived in his car to be able to make ends meet, to be able to do this sport. He had nothing. But the one thing he always had was the belief in himself. And I remember he looked at Dexter and he said, you think you can't be beat, but I'm coming to beat you. And the next year he beat him. And it was like, and then he took second to Sean at the Australia. And next thing you know, you're like, fuck, this dude beat Branch Warren. What the fuck?
He's the real deal.
Yeah, so like, I beat him when he did his first open show, I beat him. And the difference between him and me was he had a hunger and desire because he needed this.
Right, it was a different kind of hunger.
It was a different, I liked doing it. I love the spotlight. I love posing around the world. I love inspiring people. I love all that shit. But at the end of the day, I was eating either way, right? I had my business. I was eating either way. And there's a different hunger to when you have to, as opposed to when you want to. And the thing is, it wasn't in me to want it as bad as I could breathe. I think part of this prep is I want this title as much as I can breathe. So like there is no deviating on anything. I haven't wanted a show this bad since I think wanting to qualify for my first Olympia. And which I hope I don't get that stressed about it because I end up with shingles when I do that. But yeah, like I want this title because I know what it can mean to just have that Olympia champion name. Like it doesn't matter if you're a 212 champion. It doesn't matter if you're a men's physique Olympia champion. It doesn't matter if it's classic, whatever. If it has Olympia on it, and it's like, yeah, Masters Olympia champion. People hear Olympia, and it's like, fuck. All right. So like I think that's why it's been like so easy in terms of making sure nothing deviates in this prep. It's because like the need, the want, and the goal is so important to me. You know what I mean? And I think that's why William was always so successful because like he was like had this chip on his shoulder. He's coming from 212. They said he couldn't do it, and it's like, fuck it, man. Now he's a 2-time Arnold Classic champion.
Yep, and a runner-up.
Runner-up at the Olympia.
And at Arnold. Yeah.
It's like can't beat it, man. I mean that's he's had a hell of a career.
I think so.
Hell of a career.
Goodbye tour next year will be great.
Is that what he said?
I think so. How much longer can can you go? And that's the thing, right? This whole new crop, this whole new generation of guys.
Yeah.
It'd be one thing if they were like, okay, no, they're all.
Yeah, but like we've seen a lot.
About Rafael Brendel. We talked about him,
Well,
and he's gonna be 300 pounds.
yeah, I mean, like the thing is though, like I have to, like what makes Nick so great, and while I'll never count him out, is his mental.
Sure.
His mental's incredibly strong.
Absolutely.
We don't know what any of these new guys' mental.
Mm-hmm.
Forget strength, mental endurance is.
Right.
Right? Like, you can be, I mean, we've seen it 1,000 times in our sport where a guy be hot today, and when he gets down, can he have the effort to come back?
Right.
Can he have the resolve,
Yeah.
to come back? Like that's where you say, is it in you, is it in them mentally?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if everybody's on point, it makes for a phenomenal show. Phenomenal. So, you're praying that these guys get it together.
That's what, and
And that's
I
what-
want to see all 4 types of physiques on the stage at one time.
Yeah.
Battle it out.
I mean, it'd be awesome if everybody's in shape and the judges have to figure out how to decide.
How to figure this
how to
out.
shuffle this
I
shit
want Big
out.
Ramy to come back. I want his triceps to be in line. I want Nick to be on point. Samson, Andrew, Crizzo, Derek, Hottie. I want everybody to be on.
Yeah.
And make them all and pose all night until
Yeah.
somebody can't stand up anymore.
Yeah, Crizzo ain't in that mix, bro.
Right?
He looked great at the show, man.
Don't sleep on the Russian.
I'm telling you, bro, he ain't in that
At-
mix.
At 6 feet tall,
He's not in that mix.
he does have a pretty physique. That's all. I mean, he is a 6 foot mass monster. He's a mass monster.
Yeah. I mean, he looked great as.
He has no glutes though. He has no ass. He has
He's a-
no butt.
He
He needs
looked-
to go to Brazil.
he looked-
Get a BBL.
Yeah, that's always been my issue too. But he's got a great physique. But like we've seen it last year. There were so many guys in Olympia that when you saw them in the show, you're like, man, he looked fucking phenomenal. On the Olympia stage, they just shriveled to nothing compared to those, top 5, top 10 guys. It's like it's a hard
Well, that's so
sport.
top 5. My top 2 are a lot. I'm not changing my top 2.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
gonna be Samson Andrew. I'm locked in there. But
I don't
you got
think-
Hottie, Nick, and Derek.
Yeah, I don't think any of them beat Derek, man. I think Derek is growing leaps and bounds with knowing he has no weight restriction. I think he's the youngest, and I think he's just. And I think,
Is he the youngest?
yeah, and I
Nick's
think
not younger than him.
maybe Nick might be younger. I don't know. I don't know. I just know he's one of the younger guys.
Yeah.
I think Hottie, it's hard to tell because we never see him, right? So when you don't see him, he's kind of out of sight, out of mind. You don't really.
But we know he's coming. He
Definitely.
ain't missed the show
yeah,
yet.
Yeah. He misses. He don't miss
Ever.
conditioning. He
He
always
don't
looks
miss
great.
nothing.
I think we always count out Brandon
Uh-huh.
but to me last year Brandon could have easily won, and they could have made a case for it
Yeah.
because he's had the aesthetic and the thickness and the size.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think it's going to be a phenomenal Olympia. I'm praying that I do what I feel I'm 100% going to achieve, and I'll be there backstage with him. So,
Yeah. Which kind of screws me with another day.
It doesn't screw you. Your show is 3 days before mine. It doesn't screw you. But you need me to send me some updates
Yeah.
so I can do my job.
Every Monday,
Did you send them?
No,
No.
you're supposed to be here, so
What does that have to do with sending me updates fast in the morning so I can see a consistency? Nothing.
Nothing.
So, yeah, but guy hit me up on Instagram, and I was talking about, on my Instagram, I've been doing question of the day, right?
Sure.
And it's been getting good traction. And guy says to me, oh, why don't you just pop another steroid instead of telling these people what about nutrition? And I started laughing. And I'm like,
That still gets
You-
me too.
you think I look like this because
You
of
said take
fucking
steroids?
steroids? I was like, and I had to put him in his place. I said, a lot of guys take steroids and don't look like anything,
That part.
right? Like most guys out here that take drugs are using it to compensate for their mishaps in their nutrition, in their training. And like, key point, today we have, we're still on low carb, we're training legs. Every excuse to not necessarily dog it, but I don't want to go too hard because can my body recover? Right, that's the common theme, right? Like, oh, do you want to go that hard at this far in because can your body recover? And I've always been under the mindset, you train as hard as you possibly can in this moment, right? Until 2 weeks out, and that's because of energy, but also because you don't want to create so much inflammation in your body that your body can't get rid of it
Can't pee all the water out.
and see all the separation, right? So you taper it back to just getting the work done, and maybe, like 70, 80% of what you normally would do. Right, 1-2 reps short of failure. It's where you should be when you're like 2 weeks out. But up until that point, you go as hard as you possibly can. Now, your weight's already diminished because, good Lord, you look like Tarzan, but you're training like Jane, right? Because you just don't have the energy or the muscle endurance, right? But you're still strong. You just don't have the endurance for it. And so we go through the whole workout. Today, we're doing adduction, right? Been really working on those adductors, leg extensions. We did Bulgarian lunges. We did leg presses to failure, leg extensions to failure. Everything's to failure. One set to failure, and then we get to squats on the power pendulum, right? We get to squats, and I'm like, all right. So I do my first set, 2 plates, 4 plates. 2 plates, 3 plates, 5 plates. Fourth set, I'm like, 6 is enough. But I know in my head, I hit 7 last week. So where are we going to go? And I'm like, fuck it. Throw the 7th one on there. But it's that pushing yourself to the maximum that you can push on that given day is what maintains that density. And too many people fall short on that because they're tired, because they think they don't have the ability to still do it, but mainly because they're just tired. And you got to force your way through that. Like, I mean, I said to my partners, I was praying at the leg extension, God, get me through this, please. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna fucking get through this. I didn't have any energy. But I just kept saying to myself, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. It's not that bad, it's easy, I wanna win. And when you get through, it's like you accomplish something. Now my legs are fucked up now. But it's like you have, especially enhanced. If you're enhanced, you gotta push like that, right? Because why are you doing it if you're not gonna push like that? If you're not gonna push like that, why do it, right? And I'm talking to this kid, and he's saying to me, and I was a world champion in powerlifting before I ever touched anything. I was in magazines and on ESPN American Muscle as a natty. Like, me doing this ain't had nothing to do with me looking good. I did this because one reason, I want to be on Olympia stage and be the open Olympia stage. I wanted to win a pro show. That's why I did it, right? And then and he's like, cool. Can you follow me? But
Cool, can you follow me?
but I think that is the misconception, that people think, if I took steroids, I look like that. And it's like, no, you look like this if you're willing to eat on time every day, willing to train your ass off every day, and willing to never, ever deviate from the plan. That's how you look like this. And the only thing that The drugs do it. It's in, if you would look good, you're going to look great. If you look great, you're going to look exceptional. If you look exceptional, you look out of this world. You know, and that's what they do. If you do all the other shit,
You do everything that goes along with it.
right?
Exactly.
So, yeah. But I just thought,
If you take steroids, don't make you go get big.
no. So not, if that's your like, people come to me and this guy comes to me and goes, "I'm thinking about doing a cycle." I'm like, you might want to lose some weight first.
Yeah.
Like, you're already super heavy. Your body already knows it has an abundance of energy sitting there. So it's not even going to recognize when you're in a deficit the way it is if someone has a reasonable level. Your body's still going to grow even in a deficit. So
Yeah.
just lose some fat first.
Yeah.
You know? But,
Yeah, I'm excited though. This is gonna be good to see. It shows on my birthday, so we're gonna.
it's a good omen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but. So anything else you got going on?
Ain't nothing else, bro.
Cool.
Just America prep, cardio training, cardio,
All right.
meeting
Okay, so he's going to send his updates this
in
week
the morning. Yeah.
in the morning, tomorrow morning.
At about 7:30 when I wake up.
There we go. And we're going to get this going. And every week he's going to update you on how he's doing. I'm going to keep updating on how I'm doing.
Yep.
And
And he'll win and I'll win, and then it'll be interesting.
and then
conversations
it'll be the
we'll both be the Olympia.
champion. It'll be the Big Classic Champions podcast talk,
That's it.
right? So remember, like, subscribe, please share, and let us know what you want to hear. Drop a comment. You know, what are some of your things that you go through when you're going through prep? Some of your toughest moments. Some of the food you crave. What do you do when you're hungry? Let us know. Tell us, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.